James Sunderland, a troubled painter, nearly crashes into a truck while driving. During the incident, he accidentally hits the suitcase of a woman named Mary Crane, damaging it so badly that it can no longer close. Because of this, Mary misses the bus she had been waiting for. Feeling guilty, James offers to drive her back to her hometown, a remote place called Silent Hill. As they approach, James stops the car to look at the city from a distance. The sky above Silent Hill suddenly darkens, and Mary explains that it's a sign the rare Silent Hill storm is about to begin. The story then shifts to the present, revealing that James's meeting with Mary happened in the past. Now he is shown alone at a bar, heavily intoxicated. After spilling his drink and causing trouble, he is eventually thrown out. Shortly afterward, James receives a call from his therapist, M, who has been trying to reach him for days. She urges him to go home, rest, and attend their upcoming therapy session. Back at his apartment, a large painting of Mary hangs on the wall. There, James discovers a new letter from her, begging him to return to Silent Hill because she desperately needs his help. With no explanation given, James leaves, uneasy and worried. Time passes as he walks through a forest near Silent Hill. Upon reaching the public cemetery, he meets a local woman named Angela. While helping her arrange some bags, James tells her he is searching for someone important to him. Angela shares troubling information about the town. The ash falling over Silent Hill is caused by forest fires, and recent flooding has contaminated the city's water supply, leaving the area in a grim and unstable state. Because of the disasters that struck Silent Hill, many residents were forced to abandon the town. After hearing Angela's explanation, James admits that he has come to Silent Hill to look for Mary. For reasons she doesn't fully explain, Angela believes he will never find her and urges him to leave immediately. Despite her warning, James refuses to turn back. Memories of the past begin to surface. Back then, James and Mary were already in love, and he had even planned to move to Silent Hill so they could start a new life together, hinting at a darker side of herself that might scare him away. In the present, James is shocked to find Silent Hill nearly empty and partially destroyed. Calling out for anyone nearby only confirms Angela's claim that disasters forced the population to evacuate. Still determined, he continues searching and eventually enters an abandoned club. The place triggers memories of when Mary introduced him to the locals there. Her family had founded Silent Hill, and many residents admired her father, Joshua Crane, for his kindness. The quiet suddenly shatters when James hears a desperate scream. He discovers a resident brutally murdered, the scene suggesting a savage attack. Moments later, a horrifying creature emerges and begins hunting him. James fights back until the monster retreats underground. Soon after, he finds a communication device broadcasting an emergency evacuation message, warning anyone still alive to leave immediately. As darkness spreads across the city, more creatures crawl out of hiding, as if the night itself summons them. James barely escapes a swarm of giant insects trying to devour him and eventually takes refuge inside an abandoned apartment building. While exploring, he realizes he once lived there with Mary. Inside one of the empty units, he discovers a collection of old cassette tapes, triggering a terrifying vision that leaves him in intense pain. Struggling through the headaches, James calls his therapist, M, to explain where he is and what's happening, but the call ends abruptly when his phone battery dies. With no way to reach anyone, as he searches the rooms, he discovers the preserved corpse of Joshua Crane, badly damaged after being eaten by bugs. The sight pulls him back to a memory from the past. Years earlier, James had caught Mary secretly meeting with a group of people. When he arrived, they abruptly ended their gathering, clearly hiding something from him. To calm his suspicions, Mary explained that these people had supported her after Joshua's death. Even so, the first time James saw Joshua's preserved body left him deeply unsettled. Back in the present, James finds documents revealing that Mary has been receiving treatment at a local hospital. Hoping to finally find her, he prepares to leave the apartment building, but runs into another survivor named Eddie. Eddie shows him the injuries he sustained while trying to survive the chaos in Silent Hill. According to him, the outside world has become too dangerous, and many residents have already died. Soon after, the sound of a baby crying echoes through the halls. James and Eddie follow it and discover a young girl named Laura, who has locked herself away for safety. When James tries to convince her to come out, Eddie loses his temper and scolds her, causing Laura to run off in fear. Moments later, a terrifying pyramid-shaped creature appears and slowly advances toward them. As tension rises, Eddie vents his frustration at James, blaming him for Laura's disappearance. They manage to escape only because metal bars block the creature's path. While searching for another exit, James finds what appears to be a dead woman, but she suddenly transforms into a spider-like monster. Terrified, he flees and hides, witnessing a brutal battle between the spider creature and the pyramid-headed monster, which ultimately wins. Not long after, the pyramid creature breaks into James's hiding spot, ready to strike, but an emergency alarm blares and both of them collapse from intense headaches. When James regains consciousness, he encounters Angela once again. She warns him that saving Mary is impossible and pushes him away, clearly frightened by his presence. Outside the building, James finds Laura holding a doll Mary once gave her. When he asks about Mary, Laura suddenly spots something in the distance and runs away again. Chasing after her, James ends up in a labyrinth within the city park, where he loses her trail and instead meets a mysterious woman named Maria. During their conversation, James admits that he and Mary are no longer together, yet he still cannot let go of her. Maria offers to help him search, and together they evade several lurking creatures. Eventually, their journey leads them to the hospital where Mary is said to be receiving treatment, bringing James one step closer to the truth he has been chasing. At the hospital, James discovers an audio recording describing Mary's condition and learns that she was suffering from a severe illness caused by poisoning. After hearing the tape, Maria reveals a disturbing truth. Joshua Crane once founded a cult in Silent Hill, and its followers worship him like a god. Her words trigger a painful memory for James. In the past, James had secretly witnessed a ritual where Mary was used as a subject. During the ceremony, she was forced to drink a strange substance before cult members covered her body in fresh blood. James watched helplessly from outside, unable to stop what was happening. Back in the present, he and Maria continue searching the hospital, eventually running into a swarm of horrifying creatures. They manage to escape using an elevator, though Maria is badly injured during the attack. James hides her in a safe room while he presses on alone. Before he leaves, Maria asks him to abandon Silent Hill with her if Mary cannot be found. While searching, James encounters Laura again. She refuses to tell him where Mary is and runs off, leading James into another chase. This time Laura traps him inside a room and locks the door. Soon after, a terrifying four-armed creature attacks him. As he fights to survive, James begins to believe that the monster might actually be Mary herself. Suddenly, James awakens in a hospital bed under the supervision of his therapist. Trying to calm him, she reveals a devastating truth. Mary died months ago, and James has been undergoing treatment for nearly a year because of a severe mental disorder. His entire journey through Silent Hill has been a delusion created by his fractured mind. Fragments of reality begin to surface, explaining why James and Mary separated. In the past, James discovered that the blood used in the cult's ritual came from a murdered girl. Horrified, he accused Mary of sharing the cult's cruelty. Mary confessed that she had been forced into the ritual since childhood and kept the secret out of fear that James would abandon her. She also admitted that she had planned to leave Silent Hill on the day they first met, but that plan fell apart after James accidentally damaged her suitcase. Unable to accept what he learned, James ended their relationship, convinced she was tied to the cult's darkness. Back in the present, Em explains that James's illness blurs the line between reality and illusion. He created the Silent Hill journey because he cannot accept Mary's death, which happened not long after they separated. Em explains that the only way James can recover is by learning to let Mary go. Yet James carries crushing guilt, convinced her fate might have been different if he had not abandoned her. During a conversation, Em admits that Mary meant everything to him and that his condition has worsened over the past year. James confesses he wishes he had never failed her. As his mind slips back into delusion, Maria, now able to walk again, follows him so she can remain by his side. Maria repeatedly begs James to leave Silent Hill with her, but he refuses to listen. Eventually, the pyramid-shaped creature appears and kills her. In that moment, James realizes the creature is another version of himself, a physical embodiment of his guilt. As his delusions deepen, he encounters Laura again and notices that her doll seems alive, producing faint baby-like sounds. Under Laura's pressure, James finally remembers Mary's full name, Mary Angela Laura Crane. This revelation suggests that Angela, Laura, and Maria are all fragments of Mary's identity, projections created by James's fractured mind. James soon enters another vision centered on Angela, where it becomes clear she suffered abuse from her father and carries deep psychological scars. The illusion ends when mysterious hands pull Angela away, leaving James alone once more. Reality slowly resurfaces. After their breakup, James had secretly visited Mary during her treatment in Silent Hill. By then, poisoning had left her nearly paralyzed. Mary revealed that the illness was caused by drugs forced on her through the cult rituals led by her father, Joshua Crane. Desperate to escape her suffering, she begged James to end her life. With heartbreaking reluctance, he granted her wish, believing it was an act of mercy. Back in his delusional world, James imagines lying beside Mary and ending his own life, though this never truly happens. It is only a reflection of his collapsing mental state and overwhelming guilt. He relives the moment when he first damaged Mary's suitcase, but this time he tries to change the outcome, showing his refusal to accept reality. In his fantasy, he saves Mary and takes her away from Silent Hill, freeing her from pain. In truth, Mary has long since passed away, and James remains under intensive psychiatric care. Everything he experiences in Silent Hill is a manifestation of trauma, regret, and unresolved grief. The story closes with James still lost inside his own illusions, unable to release the memory of Mary or escape the world his mind has created.